Hello everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to FTB 1, Minecraft 1.19 modded. Today I have a lot to go over because I did quite a bit between recordings here. So coming up on here, as you can see, I've got a little setup going there for my honeycombs. I went to the end and beat the dragon. Died 4 times fighting the dragon. Once was some kind of a glitch. I think I died falling off of one of the pillars, and then when I used /back, because you can use that to return to your death point, I died again immediately. So I died 3 real times and 1 glitchy time that really didn't matter one way or the other. I upgraded to the HV solar panel just so I can charge my chest plate a little bit faster now. Well, that's still just going straight through, but just pop that in there and it'll top it all back off there to 1,000,000. And we're going to need even more power generation once we get this quantum suit up and going, but I'm going to be close to doing that as soon as I get 2,000,000 RF put through the antimatter constructor, which I'm going to have to do. The one thing that I am being held back to get there, though, is the iridium alloy that I need. There is an iridium B. To acquire this B, look up the crafting recipe for its spawn egg. I better just look it up down here. I hate that. Now, I don't know how to interpret this really. Tags don't really count. So if we look at incubation, this says a honey treat with the type productive bees iridium. So, and it's got this little thing on the side, which means it's part of a gene sample. So I assume we need to have an iridium bee in the first place to get a gene sample of type iridium. So I think this method of crafting is out, and then the other one is canning, and it has this item productive bees spawn egg configurable bee. Don't know what that thing is. And then you just combine it with an iridium ingot and you'll get the iridium B spawn egg, which is what we want so that we can get infinite iridium. This doesn't have any sort of recipe to go with it. And the only use for it is to make this iridium B spawn egg. Now the one thing I haven't looked too far into was, well, every time I see the wandering trader I always take a look at his trades, but I did have these 2 bumblebee spawn eggs. Now I don't even think, yeah, I turned all of my iridium into iridium alloy, so I don't have any iridium left. I'm gonna have to go mine it if I want to get there, but that's kind of that last 1B that I kind of want to get out of there. And yes, you can bookmark some of these things, like you can't bookmark the iridium B here, but in here, if I do it, it'll show up here again. And it's really weird how these are interacting with REI, but maybe that's because it's not fully integrated yet, right? Because don't forget, playing this pack, we are on the cutting edge of Minecraft and modded Minecraft, right? So lots of things are going to be not perfect for sure. So I've got all of my bees set up for production here. So the first step was to get the blocks, because that's what they use. So how a normal bee goes to a flower, then it gets pollinated and goes to the hive and makes honey. Well, these productive bees use the blocks. So we have aluminum, tin, copper. That's all oxidized out copper now. It's all nice and green, so I've got oxidized copper if I ever want it. And this one's lead here. The one I haven't gotten to yet is silver. I'm not getting into the evil craft stuff just yet, so I don't need silver at this point. But I did have over here, I had diamond and emerald bees as I got up to these experience bees. So I now have experience coming in for free. And I'll just show you that over here. So if we put the experience comb in there, we have a 30% chance to get a bottle of enchanting. So over time, that will add up to a lot of bottles of enchanting. I'm sitting at 68 levels right now because of the Ender Dragon fight, but that's kind of beside the point. I'll die and lose all that, and it'll be nice to get levels back in case I want to do any enchanting over there. When I was running around in the stronghold, I found the most OP item that you can get from the world, and that's from Ars Magica, or Ars Nouveau, sorry. And this book that you find, it's called Take Off. It casts launch ×2 on yourself, so it launches you 2 times up in the air, and then glide and duration down, so it lasts longer. So this description of the spell launches the caster into the air and grants temporary elytra flight. So I didn't actually need to get elytra before I went into the end. I was super lucky. I found a... Actually, it's nighttime. Although I can see pretty fine in the world because I have my gamma turned way up for the recording, it still looks dark on screen. So let me just pass the night so you folks can see what's going on here. Now this book launches you up and then you hit space like you have an elytra to go. One casting of it's not going to get you exactly unending flight. You need a little bit of height to get going off and some elytra flying know-how to gain some speed and then angle yourself back up to give you a little bit more time, because in our bottom left you can see our mana bar there. We can only cast this spell when the mana bar gets all the way full, because it takes more mana than we have, but it still casts the spell anyway. So as you can imagine, once I did get to the end portal and into the end, after the dragon fight, having this item here made finding the end cities extremely trivial. The only one thing you got to do is make sure not to fall down into the void by making a mistake or thing, but there's no durability to it. You can just fly and fly and fly forever. So I ran around. I found, I don't even remember how many, 4 I think. There we go. I found 4 cities. 3 of them had ships, so now I have 3 elytra. The main uses for them, obviously for the carbon. Oh. The mechanical elytra, which is used in the quantum chest plate, and also there's the angel ring. Although to get to the angel ring, we do need to get 2 nether stars, which requires farming and wither skeletons, which I'm not too big of a fan of because it's a lot of waiting around and doing nothing and waiting on a couple of tall dudes to go and kill. I did make the emerald bow from the iron bows mod. I don't know, I just chose something. I needed a bow to go fight the dragon, so there's iron, gold, diamond, and emerald. I'm not sure if emerald does more than diamond or not, but I thought maybe the emerald would have better enchantability, but it gave me a weird enchantment at the 30, at the very top tier, the tier 3. It was like a poison type of mod that I hadn't seen before, so I'm not sure if that was because it's an emerald version from the Emerald Bows mod or not. But that just that thing there to note if you're looking for a bow. Also, the bee book. You just need to take one of the sturdy cages, or take one of the bee cages and combine it with a book, and you'll get a big book of bee. If you ever get your hands on the sturdy bee cages from the towns, these ones do not get used up when you use them, whereas the regular bee cages do, right? So this one here I can use to put the bee down and pick it back up again, but this one, when I put the bee down, it disappears and I'll need to use a fresh bee cage, as I think I outlined in one of the other episodes here already. So yes, this experience bee will just go through all of the steps that I had to do to get there. So I needed the lapis bee. Lapis bee is a redstone bee and the blue banded bee. I had the blue banded bee from before. This is what I combined with the iron bee to get one of the other kinds, I forget. But I had him, find him roaming around in the world. I kind of went to a new section of area that I hadn't explored before and captured him when I was running around over there. Redstone bee needed a glowing bee and a chocolate mining bee. Chocolate mining bee came from the dirt nests. So remember, I had those 8 dirt nests and I got the 2 chocolate mining bees out of there. I did need them. Combined with the glowing bee you get using a glowing nest in the nether. So similar to how I got the crystalline bee, I made 4 this time instead of 8, and I just went to the nether, put down the glowing nests, added the honey treats, and got them. I got the glowing bee so that I could get the redstone bee so that we could go on up the trail to get the lapis bee. And the lapis bee I did have producing, but I didn't need any more lapis because I'm at 700 or so for now, so I'm just going to leave that where it is for now. And the emerald bee. The emerald bee, of course, we've got another rabbit hole to dig down here. So slimy bee, this one's pretty easy. You just need to find a slimy nest in a swamp, or put a slimy nest down and make a slimy nest and put it down in the swamp, and then feed it the treat and wait. I hadn't been to a swamp before, so I made the nature's compass. Super simple recipe. This is awesome if you're looking for any particular biome. This is absolutely mandatory to have this on hand. I always keep it in my backpack just in case. But yeah, just set it to swamp. Went over to the swamp. It was up here. There was all kinds of slimy nests down there. So I built the 4 slimy nests and took them there, loaded them up, and then looked, oh, there's a slimy bee right there. So I snagged it and came back. So I've got 4 slimy nests that are over there that will, when I go reload the chunk there at some point, their timers will go down, and maybe I'll get those slimy bees, or maybe not. I'm not sure. But then the diamond bee. So yeah, the diamond bee plus the slimy bee got us our emerald bee. We needed an ender bee and a lapis bee. We already made the lapis bee, so we had that good to go. Ender bee, there's 2 different kinds of end nests. There's the end stone nest and an obsidian nest. This ender bee came from putting down the end stone nests. Putting down the obsidian nests in the end next to one of the, I did it just next to one of the obsidian pillars because that's what I saw other people doing, got me the draconic bee. Wherever I've hidden that thing on myself. Where did my draconic bee go? I don't even know. I know what I did with them. Because I've got my ender pouch there on that big thing, I was constantly using the ender pouch, so there's my ender bees. There's the draconic bees. Don't need that for right now. And then, yeah, I've put all my vanilla bees into here for now, because I obviously didn't need any more honeycombs, because I was getting into the point where I was so overfull on honey bottles. I just don't need any anymore, because all of these combs that are coming through produce honey. So I'm just going to go over that setup here. So underneath each of those little cells that I got there, I changed my ender chest from the green general channel there, and I just added a yellow dye in the middle to make it a green-yellow-green. So both of my clumps there are now feeding in straight into here, which then hoppers into the centrifuge. I pull the honey out with the fluid pipe. I pull the items out with the item pipe. Now this item pipe does, so some of the honey bottles and obviously the XP bottles end up in there, but this system catches them all that way. And then this holds 10,000 millibuckets, so 10 buckets of honey total. That was full and was actually starting to back up over here, so I made a fluid trash can and just hooked that up there because I'm now up to 200 bottles of honey or so. $195, 173 honeycombs, and I think I'm pretty much done with the bees, except for just trying to find that silly iridium bee thing. So that's it there. I think that's everything that we're going to touch on in this one here. Oh yeah, the other thing is, if you're in new chunks now, you'll find the Ars Nouveau mana regeneration potions. If you're in a pinch and you really need to get off the ground, then this will help you with this book greatly, right? Bang. And it just, if you really need to get up high real quick. And I've got the elytra out, so there's no wings on me, so I just fly like Superman. And I love elytra flying, as everybody should. But that's it for this episode. I appreciate you all for checking it out. Watch out to be in getting into more new stuff. I think I'm going to skip on the Rs stuff for now. But the next mod I want to learn is integrated dynamics. So I'm going to have to go out and get some minerals and kind of look into that one. Although I don't think there's any huge uses for it now, but it's got some mechanical users and stuff, which we might be able to figure out. That silly magma generator from Industrial Contraptions, and maybe I can finally use lava eggs in it. I'm hoping. I'm not that hopeful, but I'm hoping that I can find a way to get that done finally. As I said, I appreciate you all, and we will see you in the next one.